today is one of my personal favorites, Maria Morris. Maria is the owner and executive chef of Carabelle's Eats and Treats. Maria developed a passion for cooking at an early age. A former Tulsa Tech culinary arts student, Maria has been recognized for superior culinary leadership skills by the National Restaurant Association, including being awarded one of the first place in adult culinary state competition, as well as Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America first in state adult culinary. Unfortunately, Maria's life took an unexpected turn. In January of 2018, Maria's 22-month-old daughter, Carabelle, passed away in a house fire. After more than a year of addiction, homelessness, and incarceration, Maria decided to use her talents and trauma to help others triumph. In May of 2020, Maria graduated from the Kitchen 66 launch program for food entrepreneurs. Since then, Maria has done multiple pop-ups at Mother Road Market and has even catered events for local nonprofits and government officials. In January of 2020, Carabelle's Eats and Treats was created in memoriam of Carabelle M. Douglas to encourage hope, healing, and productivity in women who have experienced justice systematic involvement. Currently, Maria is also board president of a new nonprofit, Carabelle's Legacy, that teaches fire safety cooking class to tenants and landlords, and in the future, hopes to provide traditional housing for victims of house fires. Please welcome Maria.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So today, my name's Maria, of course. So today I'll be making a deconstructed peach cobbler with a brown butter pecan streusel and a cardamom rum sauce. So I guess I can get started. So I guess first what I have is a puff pastry dough that I've lined in this 6-ounce ramekin. I'm going to score it with a paring knife, or just a knife is fine. There we go. And I've already egg washed this and sprinkled it with a little bit of sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it in this oven. It's preheated to 400 degrees. And so next, I'm going to get started with this, the brown butter streusel. Okay, there we go. I was like, click, click, click. Okay, so I'm going to turn this to about a medium heat. And then I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of butter to this pan. And just kind of slowly let that melt and bubble. And spatula. How are y'all doing today? Awesome. Me too. I'm very grateful to be here today. As y'all know from my story, I've had a little bit of adversity in my background. But if I had to give an encouraging word to anybody that has been through or knows someone who has been through addiction and incarceration, whatever hole that you have crawled out of, just know that if you crawl, you have potential to walk. And soon you'll be walking out your truth and your freedom out of addiction. So thank you. So while that's melting, we can go ahead and get started with the other part of the brown butter streusel. So what I have mixed up here, this is brown sugar, salt, and cinnamon. And I'm going to go ahead and dump it in this. Give it a good pulse. Then I'm going to add the flour. And so just to give you a little bit of background, my dad, he loved doing comfort food and things like that. And so I guess some of his talents is where my cooking talents come from. So I decided to do the peach cobbler because, one, I love peach cobbler. But the only thing is sometimes you get that the dough might be like a little, I don't know, soggy or something. So I decided to deconstruct it so that you still get all those elements, even fresh peach taste, and without the sogginess. So that was my story behind that. Okay, so we got a good simmer going to this butter. It's not quite brown yet. And I'd love to answer any questions about what I do for the women in my community. I plan on hiring Justice Involved Women once I get a brick and mortar shop. So I'm just kind of putting my name out there right now, letting everybody know what I do, why I do it. So, yeah, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them for you. So I do a lot of pop-ups at the Mother Road Market here in Tulsa. And I do a lot of comfort food. My cuisine changes, or my menu changes often. I do a lot of, I've done fry bread tacos. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. So my cinnamon rolls are very, very popular. And you can also find those at She Brews Coffee House here in Tulsa. So it's at a medium heat right now. I don't want to burn it, so I'm just kind of taking it slow. Oh, about 5 minutes. Yeah, about 5 minutes. It's starting to get a good color on it, so yeah, it's looking good. This is salted butter. So, like if you read most recipes, especially when baking, it'll call for unsalted butter. But I like to use salted butter because I love the sweet, salty contrast. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that off. This is good and brown. And I am going to, could I get a cup or, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much. I'm going to let this cool. So we got this going over here. I'm going to clear off some of this stuff. And then I'm going to add the pecans, but I'm not going to do that until last, so we still get little chunks of pecans and things in the streusel. If you put it in too early, sometimes it just like grounds up with everything else. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in last. And the great thing I love about this recipe is that all the components involved, thank you so much, all the components involved, they don't take that long to really cook. Like the sauce maybe takes about 8 minutes. Probably the pastry takes about 15. I guess I should have set a timer on that. So I'll be if I look back here, I'm like, make sure that it's doing all right back there. So we're gonna let that cool for a few minutes. And then I guess I can get started on, I'm gonna preheat this pan just a little bit. I'll get this one good time. Keep turning it. Turn it all the way. Thanks. Oh, of course. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll start getting that preheated, and then I'll start doing this for the butter rum sauce. I'll just turn that down just a little bit. And so for the butter rum sauce, we have butter and brown sugar. We'll also be using cardamom. And the main ingredient, rum. So I'm going to, let me just check on this just a minute. And it's getting there. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this rum sauce. We have butter, and this is also salted butter. And I'm going to let that melt in the pan, and then I'm going to add the, is that on high? It just needs to be on low. And then I'm going to add the brown sugar. Use another one of these. And for this recipe, I used an amber rum, but you can also use like a dark rum for more of like a molasses kind of taste. So we're just going to let that melt. So while that is melting, I can get started on these peaches. And I'm just going to cut them for right now and kind of dip them in this brown cinnamon and sugar mixture. So I'm just going to cut them in halves. If I can get it open here. Well, I'm having a little bit of difficulty cutting this in half. Apparently, I don't know it either, so... I guess you just trace and trace and trace until it comes apart, right? We're just gonna... There we go. I'm going to carve out this side. Take the middle out of this. If I can. So we're just going to keep those ready. And now this butter is about melted. I'm going to go ahead and add the brown sugar. And I'm going to go ahead and come back here and check on that puff pastry. Which is still, it's almost there. It's not quite where I want it, though. So we're really going to let these melt together, and I'm going to add just a little bit of cardamom, about a fourth a teaspoon, which is approximately 2 pinches. I mean, you really can't go wrong. It's a very tasty spice in this sauce. Okay, that's looking melted down. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rum. And I'm going to use this whisk to kind of combine both of them. So while that's simmering and reducing, I'm going to come over here and I am going to continue with the brown butter streusel. And I'm going to go ahead and add the melted butter to this. Just kind of pulse it. Get it good and combined. And I'm going to add the pecans on top of that. It's about a 1/4 cup of pecans. I'm just going to maybe use this one. Kind of mix it around, get it off the sides. Okay, and that looks like about ready for our oven. I'm just going to line a... Can I use this one? Oh, is it under here? Okay. Oh, okay, thanks. line this baking sheet here with parchment paper. Sorry, y'all, my parchment paper box has seen better days. Okay, go. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and spread this out pretty even on this. Since this is a single serve, I probably don't even really need that much, but just going to go ahead and pop this in the oven at 400. And we have mitts down. I see them. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Our puff pastry is doing. I see some nice golden brown on it. Let's see if I can pull it out. Okay, it could actually do just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. And so, is there a way to set a timer on this, or 15 minutes? Let me do 15 minutes for that. Thanks so much. Okay, now let's come back to the sauce, see how it's doing. And just reduce this just a little bit more, but it's looking real good. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get these peaches started. And I'm just going to dip these in the brown sugar cinnamon mixture I have here. Just cut side down. There we go. So now I'm just basically waiting on the streusel. I'm just basically waiting on the streusel and the puff pastry. Does anybody else have any more questions for me? How ripe are the peaches? They're a good amount of ripeness. So what I'm going to do with these peaches, I'm just going to grill them. I'm not going to bake them because I don't really like mushy texture. So it's still going to have the natural sweetness of the peaches plus a little bit of brown sugar, cinnamon, like you would find in a peach cobbler. Yeah, so they're a good amount of ripe. You know what? It hasn't on me yet. But that doesn't mean that's not possible. So maybe if I tilted the pan a little bit, y'all might get a little show, but I'm not, I'm not fully confident in that. So I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to this. And this is a pretty good looking sauce. And as it sits, it's going to thicken. So we're just going to let that do its thing. And still waiting on the puff pastry. So I'm going to go ahead and get started grilling the peaches. Everything should be done. And then it's just basically assemble after that. This is on low since it's been sitting the whole time. I'm just going to drop that in. And actually, I guess I could use the tongs for this. Kind of melt that butter. This is actually a little bit hot. So I'm going to set this back there. Kind of remove this over there. We're just going to set the peaches in there. Let them get a nice grill on them. Caramelize a little bit, but not too much. And that takes about 5 minutes. Thank you. Oh, and then the ice cream is in that freezer back there. Thank you. I just remembered that. Yeah, about by the thickness. So it'll be it'll kind of reduce. I kind of just follow the line from where it started at inside the pan. You know, when it reduces, it'll be a little bit lower than that. It'll be about half of that. Only takes about a minute. Since it's got alcohol in it, evaporates really fast. I had the heat a little bit low. But it doesn't take that long. Like I said, these parts of the of this dish, they don't take that long. So it's just really, yes, thank you. It's just really an assembly after this part. Any more questions? Hello. What's my favorite savory dish? That is a good question. I love food so much. I cook a lot of chicken. I do like this chicken roulade. They come out like pinwheels, but they have kale inside of them, provolone and mozzarella cheese. Then I wrap them and bake them, kind of sear them. And then I put them in the oven, and they always come out really good. I always do a white wine sauce with those. But I like all different kinds of food. I love trying other people's food. I know at the last demo that I did, I got to try Chef Tiffany Tisdale's shrimp and grits, and I was like, I don't do grits. But I tried her grits, and they were amazing, so I was like, okay. So we're going to go ahead and shut that off. This puff pastry is done for real this time. So we're going to go ahead and take that out. And it is a lovely golden brown. I guess I can just set that. Kind of just set it right there. Okay, so next up will come the streusel. And these are nice and caramelized. Yeah, those look really good. So I'm going to set them and let them cool. And the streusel should be about done. So I'm looking for kind of the edges to be golden brown. Actually, it's done right now. So, so can I just turn this off like this? Cancel? Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to take that out. And just set it here. Set that out there. Okay, and now we can start assembling. So I'm going to slice these peaches. I'm just going to use this. Just turn them over, quarter them. Ooh, these knives are way better than mine. They just slice this like butter. I'm not playing. Just finish quartering these up. All right, and I'm gonna kind of shake up this streusel and spread it back out and let it cool. I didn't mean to shake it up that much. Let it cool just a little bit. And we're gonna take the puff pastry. I'm just gonna fill this with these caramelized peaches. If I can get them in here right. There we go. Just kind of placing them in there, rose-like. I love a lot of peaches, so I'm going to set some extra ones in there. And then we can scoop some vanilla ice cream on top of that. It's in this one. Oh. Thanks. I am so glad y'all are here. I would be lost without you. Just kind of scoop this. Want to fit that right there on top. Sprinkle it with our streusel. Get a nice pecan in there. Ta-da. And top it with our sauce. Let's use this spoon, will work. Sauce is a little hot still, but it all eats the same. Boy, I made a mess back here, but hey. out of mess comes good food. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions for me? Okay. Thank y'all so much for having me. Thanks.